If you're a fan of Foundation, you're probably more interested in the plot than the characters by the time Foundation Season 3, Episode 1 airs. Apple TV Plus's Foundation, which was developed by David S. Goyer and Josh Friedman, has never been a very accurate translation of Isaac Asimov's Foundation novels, which are generally regarded as unfilmable, at least not in their original form. However, because it centers on a group of nerds who are fixated on extremely difficult arithmetic, it is still evident that the entire plot is based on an Asimov film. Although Asimov was a brilliant writer, he was never very good at writing people. Characters were essentially movable pieces on different-sized chessboards that allowed him to experiment with the ideas he was interested in. In that sense, Foundation, which is a good television series in its own right, is still quite similar to the books, even though it has added and altered many of the characters from the original plot to give us a human connection. And boy, a song for the end of everything. The first episode of Season 3 of Foundation is the clearest example of it. Once more, Gaal Dornick Lou Lobel provides some introductory narration at the beginning. The second crisis was 152 years ago. The Foundation is expanding as the Empire is collapsing. The entire outer reach is now under its control, and it is advancing into the middle band, which contains several former Imperial planets. Calgon, the pleasure planet, seems to be the most significant of these. We don't get to witness it, but you'd think this is a place for wine, women, and singing, among other pleasant liaisons. The issue with Foundation Season 3 Episode 1 is exemplified by this sequence. I don't know who Balerion is or why I should be interested in him. Although all I've seen of Calgon is a cliff face, Gaal has told me that it's significant since it's a pleasure planet. And all I know about the mule is that he has nasty news and possesses psychic abilities, which last season we already knew. An email may have been used for this meeting. The idea that Ralph Ineson would be on this show for very long was incredibly foolish. Watching films of previous Dusks entering the machine that reduces them to ash, Brother Dusk, Terrence Mann, is contemplating his imminent fate back on Trantor. When Dawn arrives, they discuss the world and how Cleon Nixin's poor choices at the end of the previous season caused everything to happen. Dusk reflects on how liberating a pirate's life like the mule must be. Our Dusk declines Dawn's request to run, as some Dusks do. He lacks it in himself. He is as obedient as trash headed to the incinerator, just like a lot of other people. The third season of Foundation spends too much on narrative at the expense of growth. We meet Mayor Inber on New Terminus, who is pretentious, British in a bad way, and enjoys sugar. Here, we find out that Pritchard Brandon Bell, our Foundation man, has come to Inber to obtain authorization to look into the mule. Somehow, Pritchard has concluded that the mule is the real problem in addition to being clairvoyant. Because humans have a terrible tendency to destroy themselves when left alone, it was suggested that robots needed a zeroth law that put humanity before any one individual. As a result, the robots engaged in conflict over how to treat humanity. The end of the world began when one of them killed a significant person in order to enforce the zeroth. Sadly, it is short-lived. Then, in Foundation Season 3, Episode 1, we are taken to a dinner where we meet Foundation Ambassador Quint Cherry Jones, who is a fascinating character to see. Watching her spar with Dusk is entertaining, but when she finds out about what's going on Calgon, she must depart, despite Dawn's assurances that he has no plans for the planet Yes Yen. She also mentions how much she wants to see Day, who hasn't appeared in this first episode yet.